In the name of God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. For those of you who know me, it would probably be no surprise to learn that I am a cradle Episcopalian. I've called our church home for over 60 years, and my English grandmother, although she was a devout Methodist, and my other grandmother was baptized in the Episcopal Church as an adult because she refused to be dunked in the rainwater tub in a small community church in Ohio where she grew up. It was her husband, my Grandpa Fair, who died years before I was born, who was the Anglican. He grew up in the Church of Canada. Although I didn't know him, he was an iconic figure in my growing up. And a few years ago, I had the opportunity to drive to Kingston, Ontario, where he grew up, and I found my great-grandfather's stone house and the family burial plots in the cemetery. And I visited St. George's Cathedral, where Grandpa sang in the boy choir, and where his brothers were listed in the bronze service plaque of World War I. I read the history of the community and a bit of Canadian history. And after that visit, I had a revelatory grasp of who I am and why I am the way I am. I tell that story because it was as if the layers of the past 100 years were scraped away, and I discovered some of the foundational values and mores of my family that shaped my grandfather, my parents, my siblings, and our children. St. Paul, writing to the church in Corinth, says that he laid the foundation stone of the church. A foundation which is Jesus Christ, who was crucified and risen, a folly to some, as Paul says earlier in the letter. But for those who are being saved, not the ones that are already saved, but the ones right now, all of you who are being saved, wisdom, Christ's wisdom, is the power of God. Paul probably, as much as, and if not more than, all the other apostles, laid the foundation stone of the church. And he warns us in the letter to be wary of those who build on that foundation, and that each builder must choose with care how to build it, how to add on to it. We are now 2,000 years beyond the foundation, but the truth, the power, and the witness of the church, its fundamental values expressed in forgiveness and in mercy and grace, its care for the poor, the neglected, and the outcast, and its hope to live with confidence in newness and fullness of life, to await the coming in Christ in glory, and the completion of God's purpose for the world, still stands on that foundation. The church throughout the generations needs to make sure it rests on those ancient anchors of death, resurrection, and the hope of new life. The church, the ecclesia in Greek, is a gathering of people, and Paul reminds us that in our gathering, we become God's temple. The place where God dwells, where God remains active in human history through the work and the ministry of the church. The church, in building on its foundation, takes into account a myriad of social and cultural concerns. And I bet you've had some discussions in vestry meetings or other congregational venues about what's relevant for our times and how it shapes our worship. More contemporary language or music, more opportunities to engage our minds or to make our worship more welcoming. We consider the cultural shifts in society and how we might both adapt and hold fast to the traditions that we are honored. We respond to the needs of the world with our prayers and in our resources of money and people and time. We put into action what we say and believe in the caring and the respect for all people. But what remains significant is that in all those things, God is made known to us. And it is through the people, the ecclesia, that God is made known to others. One of the benefits to parishes in times of transition, like you are right now, is that they have an opportunity to reflect on the ministry, the traditions, and the values held by the parish, and to look back to the foundation stones of the congregation. Like me visiting my great-grandfather's home, you may come away with a new understanding of who you are and whose you are and where you are at this time in your common life together. And this comprehension will guide and direct you on the path that you are to go as you move into the future as a community of faith. There are rarely 7 or 8 Sundays in Epiphany in the calendar, and Lent is unusually late this year, and the 7th Sunday after the Epiphany, when it occurs, we hear from the book of Leviticus. And it's the only time in the 3-year cycle that we hear a lesson from the book of Leviticus. The Levites were the priests of ancient Israel. And Leviticus is the priestly book defining worship, the consecration of the priests, and of all the laws. It's a commentary on all of the laws that define the people of Israel. Moses is speaking to the congregation, to the ecclesia, to the gathering of the people. And he says to them, "You shall be holy, for I, the Lord your God, am holy." You shall be holy. The people's life with God and with one another is the practical expression of their holiness. And the laws and moral codes that define Israel, and which Jesus draws so heavily upon in his own preaching, reflect both God's holy character and our own as we live into relationship with one another. It is what all clergy and people strive toward. And as a church, as the people of God, we are called to become. We already are, but we are going to keep becoming that holy people. In St. Paul's language, a temple. A temple. And it is here in this temple, among these holy people, that God's grace and God's mercy, God's love and protection are made known to us so that we can be the gracious, forgiving, hospitable, and generous children of God that bring light and bring life to the world. Amen.